You know that physical feeling you get when you're in a really tense disagreement.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just in your head. Your stomach drops, your heart starts going, and you just feel stuck. And work just it grinds to a halt.
That's the cortisol right there. And today, we're doing a deep dive into conflict management, which I know it sounds a little, I don't know,
A
corporate.
little stiff, yeah.
But if you look at the research we have in front of us, it's really just a toolkit. It's not about avoiding friction. It's about having the tools to deal with it.
And that was the big shift for me in the source material. We always see conflict as the bad guy, but the consensus here is that it isn't, inherently bad.
Not at all.
If you handle it right, it actually becomes a catalyst. It helps a team grow.
Exactly. It's the difference between a fire that burns the house down and one that, gives you light.
Mm-hmm.
But you need a framework for that. The sources lay out these 5 rules of the road, and the first one is all about timing.
Right, the when and the where. I mean, it seems obvious, but trying to solve something when everyone's already mad is, well, it's just not going to work.
It's a biological dead end.
Yeah.
Psychologists call it emotional flooding. Your logical brain, the part that solves problems and feels empathy, it pretty much just checks out
It goes offline.
completely. So if you're arguing, then you're not solving anything. You're just venting.
Yeah.
The rule is wait. Wait till that feeling settles and find a quiet, neutral spot to talk.
Which is the perfect setup for the second rule. Talk and listen. And the sources are really clear. This isn't just, waiting for your turn to speak.
No, it's active listening. Most of us, we listen just so we can reply. We're just waiting for a pause to launch our own point.
Right, to jump in with our counterattack.
Exactly. But to actually manage conflict, you have to switch that off and really try to understand their point of view, even if you don't agree with it at all.
And that takes a whole lot of rule number 3, flexibility, being open to change. This is where the ego has to take a backseat, right?
This is the hardest part, especially for people who are used to being right. You have to kind of decouple your ego from your idea.
Yeah.
You have to go into it thinking, okay, maybe I don't have all the pieces.
I love that.
When you do that, you stop trying to win the fight and you start trying to solve the puzzle together.
Solving the puzzle, that framing is everything. And it leads right into the 4th rule, which is about how you actually phrase things, the no blame game.
So critical. The sources say you have to shift from you statements to I statements.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, instead of saying you are being difficult, which just makes people defensive immediately, you describe what's happening on your end. You say, I felt frustrated when I didn't get a response because it made me feel stuck on the project.
So you're not guessing their intention. You're just stating your reality, which they can't really argue with.
Exactly. It just lowers the temperature in the room instantly.
Okay, so once the temperature is down, you can finally hit rule number 5. Eyes on the prize, looking to the future.
Right. This is the fix-it stage. The whole point of this isn't just to complain, it's to figure out a way forward. If you just keep talking about what went wrong in the past, you're stuck in a loop.
You get nowhere.
You have to pivot to, okay, so how do we prevent this next time? That's how the relationship actually gets stronger.
So to recap the toolkit.
Hmm.
First, get your timing right so your brain is actually working. Then really listen. Be flexible. Use those I statements to avoid blame. And always, always focus on the future solution.
And if you can do those 5 things, conflict stops being this thing that, threatens your relationships. It actually starts being the way they grow.
It really makes you rethink what a happy workplace even is. We tend to think if everyone is quiet, everything's fine. But after this deep dive, I have to wonder, is a total lack of conflict actually a sign of health? Or is it maybe a sign that people have just stopped caring enough to disagree?
That is the question to chew on.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.